General Thakmor of the Celestial Hegemony had conquered 43 star systems without losing a single battle. His reputation as a military strategist was legendary across the galaxy. So when the Galactic Council arranged a cultural exchange with the newly discovered human species, they naturally selected him to observe their military training methods. The humans seemed eager to please, arranging a comprehensive tour of what they called West Point Military Academy. General Thakmor expected to see primitive weapon demonstrations and basic formation drills. What he witnessed would haunt him for the rest of his existence. The first shock came during what the humans called Beast Barracks, their initial training phase. Thakmor watched in growing horror as 18-year-old humans were subjected to conditions that would violate the Geneva Convention for prisoner treatment in most civilized species. "They wake them before dawn," whispered Colonel Harrison, the human guide, with what Thakmor could only interpret as sadistic pride. 4 hours of sleep maximum. Then we make them run until they vomit, carry heavy equipment for miles, and solve complex tactical problems while exhausted. Thakmor's translator must have malfunctioned. "You torture your own young." "We call it character building," Harrison replied cheerfully. "Wait until you see survival training." The survival course defied comprehension. Thakmor watched cadets dropped into wilderness areas with minimal supplies, expected to navigate, find food, and complete military objectives while avoiding capture. They ate insects, drank from contaminated water sources, and treated their own injuries with makeshift medical supplies. "This one broke his leg yesterday." Harrison pointed to a cadet hobbling through the forest. "Splinted it himself and continued the mission. We'll fix it properly after graduation. You allow your offspring to suffer permanent damage." Thakmor's chitinous plates rattled with distress. "Only if they're tough enough to earn it," Harrison said with unmistakable pride. But the true horror revealed itself in the strategy classroom. Professor Williams, a gray-haired human with cold eyes, was teaching fourth-year cadets about something called acceptable losses. In the Battle of Thermopylae, Williams lectured, 300 Spartans held off thousands of Persians, knowing they would die. In the Normandy landings, we calculated 10,000 casualties as acceptable to establish the beachhead. The key is ensuring your sacrifice achieves strategic objectives. The cadets took notes as if discussing weather patterns. They analyzed scenarios where entire battalions would be sacrificed to gain tactical advantages, debated the optimal ratio of friendly casualties to enemy casualties, and calculated how many soldiers they could lose while still achieving victory. Thakmor's species had never developed such concepts. When hegemony forces faced significant casualties, they retreated to preserve valuable personnel. These humans planned for mass death as a routine strategic option. The weapons demonstration nearly caused Thakmor to collapse. The humans proudly displayed their nuclear arsenal, weapons capable of rendering entire planets uninhabitable. They possessed thousands of these devices, each one powerful enough to crack a moon's surface. "We don't use them much anymore," explained General Peterson. "Too messy. We prefer precision strikes now. Would you like to see our biological weapons division?" Thakmor declined, but the damage was done. These creatures had industrialized extinction and called it defense policy. The final revelation came during the graduation ceremony. Thakmor watched young humans swear an oath to defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic, pledging their lives without hesitation. Their families beamed with pride as their children promised to die for abstract concepts like freedom and honor. "They volunteer for this?" Thakmor asked weakly. "Competition is fierce," Harrison replied. "Only the best candidates are accepted. These represent the top 1% of human military potential." General Thakmor returned to the hegemony capital 3 days early, filing an immediate report that would reshape galactic military doctrine for centuries. His recommendations were simple and absolute. Under no circumstances should any member species engage humanity in warfare. These creatures do not fight battles. They choreograph apocalypses. They do not train soldiers. They forge instruments of civilizational collapse. Mark their system as permanently off limits. The report concluded with a personal note that made seasoned hegemony commanders shudder. I have witnessed species that fight for territory, resources, or survival. Humans fight for ideas, and they consider death a reasonable price for abstract principles. There is no defending against such madness. The cultural exchange program was quietly discontinued.